It's funny. So much of what we actually communicate has almost nothing to do with the words we say. It's like there's this secret unwritten rule book we're all following, this whole hidden layer of meaning in every single conversation. Well, today, we're going to crack that rule book wide open.
So, here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with a simple puzzle about passing the salt, which is going to lead us right into the fascinating science of pragmatics. From there, we'll uncover the 4 secret rules of conversation, see what happens when we break them, and finally, we'll look at that tricky dance between being polite and being truthful.
All right, let's dive right in. We're going to start with a question that seems, well, almost too simple to even ask. But trust me, it reveals something massive about the way we all communicate.
Seriously, think about it. You're at the dinner table, someone asks, "Can you pass the salt?" You don't just say, "Yes, I can," and go back to eating, right? Of course not. You actually pass them the salt. But why? Because you're automatically responding to their intention, not just the literal words coming out of their mouth.
And that, right there, is the heart of everything we're talking about today. There is a gap between the dictionary meaning of a sentence and what a speaker is actually trying to get done. And that gap? Well, that's where all the interesting stuff happens.
So this gap between our words and our real meaning, it isn't just some random little quirk of language. No, it's a whole field of study, and it has a name.
In linguistics, these two things are separated out. You've got semantics, which is all about the literal dictionary definition. So semantically, can you pass the salt is a question about your physical capabilities. But then you have pragmatics, and that's about the speaker's intention in that specific moment. It's the study of what the speaker actually means.
So to put it formally, pragmatics is the study of how we use words to accomplish things. We're not just sharing facts. We're making requests. We're dropping hints. We're navigating complex social situations. Honestly, pragmatics is the engine that drives pretty much all of our day-to-day communication. So how on earth do we navigate this gap so effortlessly all the time? Well, a philosopher named H.P. Grice came up with a brilliant and surprisingly simple answer. He said we all subconsciously follow a core principle he called the cooperative principle.
Now, okay, that sounds incredibly academic, I know. But the idea behind it is really simple. We go into every conversation with a basic assumption that the other person is trying to be helpful, that they're on our team working with us to communicate. In a way, every conversation is a small act of trust.
And Grice broke this big principle down into 4 simple rules, or what he called maxims. These are the 4 things we subconsciously expect from each other whenever we talk. They're basically the pillars holding the whole thing up.
So here they are. First, the maxim of quantity. Just give the right amount of information, not too much, not too little. Second, quality. Be truthful. Simple as that. Third, relation. Stay on topic. And fourth, manner. Be clear and straightforward. Pretty basic, right? We follow these rules constantly without even realizing it.
And this is where it gets really, really interesting. The real magic of how we communicate isn't just about following these rules. It's about what we manage to say when we very, very obviously break them. Just imagine this. Your friend trips and their coffee goes flying all over the place. You look over at them and you say, "Wow, you're a real genius." You don't actually mean they're a genius, do you? So, let's go back to our rule book. Are you following the maxim of quality? The one about being truthful? No, of course not. And your friend knows you're not. And because it's so incredibly obvious that you're lying, your friend's brain assumes you're still trying to be cooperative on some level, so it searches for a different meaning. That hidden, intended meaning that comes from breaking a rule, that's called an implicature. You've just said the exact opposite of what your words mean.
Let's try another one, pulled from our source material. Person A asks for a specific date. Person B says it's sometime in April. Now they're clearly breaking the maxim of quantity. They're not giving enough information, so the implicature is obvious. They don't know the exact date. They couldn't follow the rule, so they gave the most cooperative answer they could.
So we break rules to create hidden meanings like sarcasm and hints. But there's another major reason we stray from Grice's maxims, and it adds a whole new fascinating layer to this puzzle.
Yeah, sometimes just keeping the peace and being nice is more important than being a perfectly efficient communicator. We bend the rules of cooperation to follow another unspoken code of conduct, the rules of politeness.
This model really shows that balancing act perfectly. Our conversations aren't just run by Grice's cooperative principle. They're also guided by a politeness principle.
Our goal is to be both clear and considerate, and a lot of the time, that means we have to make a trade-off.
I mean, for example, instead of a direct and efficient command like, would you be quiet, which, by the way, perfectly follows the maxim of manner, we might say something much longer and way less direct, like, I'm finding it a bit difficult to concentrate in here. We are intentionally sacrificing being brief for the sake of being polite.
And this is really the main takeaway. Every single time we talk to another person, we are performing this incredible high-wire act. We are constantly balancing the need to be understood with the need to maintain our social relationships. It's a non-stop negotiation between cooperation and politeness.
So there you have it. You've got the keys to the secret rule book. You know the rules, and you know why we break them. So the real question is, as you go about your day-to-day, what unspoken meanings, what implicatures are you going to start hearing all around you?